So it's the 13th of January 2015 and I'm just getting ready to leave for work this morning. And as you can see from the thermometer here, the temperature is sitting just below negative 20 Celsius, so it's going to be quite a cold day today. And that means for my ride to work today, I'll be wearing my freezing weather clothing. Alright, so here we go, on our way to work, on a bicycle of course. This is the coldest day this winter that I've ridden in. Last week we had a day when it was around negative 17. But officially the temperature today is supposed to be negative 21, although it may have warmed up a little bit since I heard that report. So we're just going to wait at the crosswalk here till they get across. And there's our green walk signal. Our walk signal is actually white, but it's a green light. Alrighty. So right now we're heading in the west direction on a street called Castlefield, and we were just crossing Yonge Street a minute ago, and that's because when I ride to work I like to take the quiet side streets for most of the sections. So we're going to make a right turn here. And now we're heading north, and I can feel the cold north wind on my face. But luckily I'm dressed appropriately for this cold weather. So if you've never seen one of my riding to work videos before, I try and make one of these videos about once a month because I'm a year-round bicycle commuter, so I like to show how the roads look every month of the year, and I've been doing it for a little over a year now. So this is my standard route that I take for getting to work. There's another cyclist there. He's wearing ski goggles. My wardrobe for this temperature consists of just safety glasses, clear safety glasses for my eyes. I wear a thin balaclava underneath my helmet, as well as ear muffs to give my ears some extra warmth, because ears are an important part that needs to stay warm because they're prone to getting frostbitten. And of course I wear a helmet because it doesn't matter what the temperature is, there's always a chance that you could get in some kind of an accident, whether it's your fault or not. For the top half of my body, I'm wearing on the outside a soft shell jacket. It's actually a cross-country ski jacket. And underneath that I've got a fairly thick thermal warm top. And And I find that's enough warmth for me because when I ride, I work fairly hard. I like to ride at a fairly, not a super fast pace, but not a lazy pace either. And on my bottoms, I'm wearing a pair of soft shell pants, but made out of almost the exact same material as my jacket's made out of. And since it's a super cold day, underneath those I've got a pair of long johns or long underwear, thermal pant things, and they're doing a great job of keeping my legs nice and warm. And on my feet, I'm just wearing my regular running shoes, which is what I wear all year round on my feet. But since it's an extra cold day, I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks instead of 1. And so far my feet are feeling quite warm. Last winter I put together a complete guide to winter cycling, including an entire video devoted to what clothing I like to wear on colder days. So if you want to check that out and learn a little bit more about riding in the winter, I'll put a link below in the description of this video. I'd say there's very few days that we get in Toronto, where I live, where it's actually cold enough to be in this freezing temperature zone, the temperature zone which is -20 and below. As I said, the official temperature this morning was -21, but if you listen to most news radio networks this morning, the only number that you would hear most of the time was the -32, which is a feels like temperature, which is based on the effect of wind chill. So, since the temperature is -21 and the estimated wind speed is 30 kilometers per hour, if you're standing in direct contact with that full 30 kilometer per hour wind, then the temperature will actually feel like, they've scientifically figured out, it would feel more like -32. Now, I don't pay too much attention to those wind chill temperatures because when you're on a bike, you've always got the effect of wind chill to deal with. So, you're riding usually around an average of 20 kilometers per hour speed or something like that. So really what you have to pay most attention to is what direction the wind is coming from. If it's -21 and you're going to be riding north and it says that the wind is coming from the north, then you can realize that the temperature is going to feel a little bit colder than it's actually supposed to be. But otherwise, the wind chill temperature doesn't mean a whole lot, because if it's, if you're going in the same direction that the wind is going, if the wind is coming from the south and you're going north, the wind is behind you and it actually will feel warmer than on a day when there's no wind. So the road we're riding on right now is called Sheppard Road, and back there we crossed the traffic light, which is crossing a road called Lawrence Avenue. Before that we were on the same street, but it had a different name. The road is called Duplex Avenue, and it changes names when it crosses Lawrence. And it's just a north-south street which goes parallel to Yonge, and it's what I take most of the time for getting to and from work. It's got lots of stop signs on it, which is a little bit of a nuisance for a cyclist. But still, I feel a lot safer riding here than I do on Yonge Street. As you can see today, the roads are very well cleared. There's no snow or ice right on the road. We really haven't got very much snow this winter at all. We had a big snow event in the middle of December, but that snow all melted, and for a long time we had nothing on the ground, and for the last few weeks we've been getting just small little dumpings of snow, only about a centimeter or two at a time. So there really hasn't been very much accumulation at all. So when I ride in the winter, I have two bikes that I use, and I alternate back and forth between them based on the road conditions. One of my bikes has studded winter tires with, little metal spikes in them, and my other bike just has a regular set of summer tires. And since today there's no snow and ice to speak of on the roads, I'm just using my regular summer tires, because my snow ones would just slow me down like crazy, and there's really no need for them today. Alright, so now we're heading east for a block to meet back up with Yonge Street. That's because we got to cross to the other side, because Jedburgh ends up ahead there, and we wouldn't be able to continue taking that all the way to North York, where I'm headed. You can feel there's a little bit of ice accumulation on my facial hair, on my beard. That's one of the fun things about having a fairly long beard when it's cold outside. You get little frosties that kind of accumulate on the outside of your beard. So we're just going to cross this street here, which is called Yonge Boulevard. And then we'll walk across Yonge Street at the crosswalk here. And lately I've been making an effort to do crosswalks on foot, not riding across them, because drivers aren't expecting somebody on a crosswalk driving quickly, riding quickly. So it's much safer to walk across a crosswalk if you have to use one as part of your commute. So we're riding on the sidewalk here on Yonge Street. We're just going down the big Hogs Hollow hill. Thank you. And right here we're coming up to a street called Donwoods Drive. And this gets me back off of Yonge Street again onto some quieter side streets as I make my descent down the big hill into Hogs Hollow. Now I'm just going to take my time going down this hill, using my brakes most of the way down, because although the roads appear to be very clear, you never know when there could be a little hidden patch of ice that I might not see and I might hit, and it could make me wipe out. I'm really not in a huge hurry to get anywhere, so I'm happy to take my time going down this hill. In addition to that, going down a hill at high speeds on a day like this would be very cold. With all that cold wind rushing in my face and my body. Alright, so we're going to make a left turn here. This is called the Nino. So it's been a while since I've made a riding video on my YouTube channel. I did make a ride to work in November. I unfortunately missed December, but I'm back at it again in 2015, doing one in January, mid-January. In the winter, the riding conditions vary so much from day to day. If your plan is to only film one video a month, you really think about it and you try and think about, what would be the best kind of condition to show to represent the month, because as I said, it varies quite a bit. Sometimes you have lots of snow, sometimes you have lots of ice, sometimes you just have really cold temperatures. So now we're heading back up that big hill we just climbed down to get to the other side of Hogs Hollow. And this street that we're on now is called Old Yonge Street. And I apologize for all of the breathing. I think that my breathing is louder in the winter when I record it using my external microphone. I think I breathe a lot deeper as well. Even in these cold temperatures, it's always important to make sure that you stay hydrated while you're riding. I recommend using an insulated water bottle for that, because if you use a regular water bottle and it's negative 20 out, you're only going to be able to drink out of it for about the first 5 minutes of your ride, and then the top of it will be all frozen and you won't be able to get any more water out until you thaw it. But they make these insulated bottles, which are, I assume, designed primarily for summer riding on really hot days, so that you can put cold, icy water inside and they're going to stay cold and icy for most of your ride. But the insulation works both ways. You can use it for keeping your water warm enough so it doesn't freeze. Well, it doesn't completely prevent it from freezing, it just slows down the freezing process. So of course, whenever you get to where you're going, you got to make sure that you bring that water bottle inside so that it's not going to be a frozen block of ice when you go back out to your bike. Alright, so we're at York Mills Avenue now, and this is where I got to cross this busy road. But to do that, I wait until there's a nice clearing in the traffic to get across. So I'm just going to wait patiently. You can see it's almost clear on the left, on the right side. Just waiting on the left. I can see in the reflection of the van beside me, and my beard is looking very frosty right now. Alright, looks like we got our clearing coming up after this car here. Alright, now we're across York Mills Avenue. One of the concerns I had about making this video was that the batteries in my camera and in my voice recorder might not have been able to handle the cold. I mean, I've used them in winter before, but as I said, I've never recorded when it's been this cold before. I think I may have done, you know, around -10 or so, but never much below that. But so far so good. But if we have to end the video early, you'll know why now. I can feel that north wind coming against me, but I'm actually feeling like really warm right now. Like my top half is on the verge of almost sweating, so I should unzip my front vents a little bit here just to get a little bit of airflow in there, because the last thing you want when you're riding in the winter is to be really warm and start sweating and getting wet clothing underneath, because being wet in the cold is really bad. It'll make you feel very cold again. So I'll just unzip these vents a little bit. This jacket I have has these front vents that run the full length of the front and just have these little zippers on them. They're very easy to control while you're riding. So something I've been working on the last few days, or on the weekend, was editing together some of the footage that I took during the summer while I was on vacation in the Netherlands. I've mentioned it before, but during the month of July, I went on a 7-day bike trip riding through the Netherlands. And I did it with a big group in a bike and barge tour. And while I was there, I had my camera with me, the same camera that I'm using to record right now. And I actually filmed a ton of footage of myself riding through the Netherlands on all the country roads and bike paths. And I wanted to share that video with my YouTube audience. But it's a more challenging task than you'd think, because I probably got, you know, at least 20 hours of video footage, and it's just, you know, it's not fast, exciting. It's just, you know, riding along at about the speed I'm riding right now, just riding through the country. So I've been editing it, trying to just take the, you know, the exciting parts and showing little clips of little things along the way. So hopefully that will be ready fairly soon. I'm not going to promise a certain date that it'll be there, but all I can say is that I'm working on it, and I think that I hope you'll enjoy it. Alright, so we're riding on a little sidewalk here which crosses below Highway 401, which is our busiest highway in Canada. And this sidewalk looks a little bit icy. There's a few little icy spots, but as long as I ride carefully and in a straight line, I shouldn't have any problems riding along here. So now we're in North York, the North York Center part of the city. Thank you. We're just coming up to a street called Harrison Garden. And we're almost at work now. A little bit icy on this road, but as long as I ride away from the shoulder, it should be just like riding on a normal summer's day. So not a lot of other cyclists on the road today, but I'm glad we did see that one near the beginning when we were back on Duplex Avenue. A lot of people are afraid of riding in these kind of conditions, but honestly, if you're wearing the right clothing for it, it's a very comfortable ride. I'm not feeling cold at all right now. I'm feeling very comfortable and really enjoying my ride, as I always do in the mornings. Riding to work is a real highlight of the day for me. I look forward to my ride in the morning, and when I'm sitting at my desk at work, I always have my ride home at the end of the day to look forward to as well. It's a great way to live, in my opinion, and I recommend it to you if you've never tried riding to work. Oh, there's another cyclist. That guy's actually been in one of my videos before. I see that guy almost every day. He rides the opposite route of me. He must live somewhere up in this direction, over in this area up here. And I think he works down pretty close to where I live. So I often see him on my ride going in the opposite direction. Well, my voice recorder cut out there while I was riding. I guess the temperature of the batteries got too cold and they stopped working. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed joining me on this cold ride to work this morning. Thanks for watching.